Hey, welcome to the Liberal Buzz Show. Denise Dory I'm your host, and you're probably watching most of my fans watch the Cavaliers game would be watching them right now, I'm sure, and most. But this show will repeat probably daily, so that's why I'm doing it instead of watching the game. Now we have the ambulance department. The election, we're going to do the segment on ambulance and who needs to have one called on them. And right now, who needs a ambulance? Who is it? Who is it this time? Let's see who needs the ambulance. Yeah, the ambulance. Here we go. Dial 1-800-BOO-HOO. Somebody call 911. We need a ambulance sent right away. And that's for the Democratic County Central Committee candidates who lost the election. They're trying to create new seats for themselves. We went to their meeting last night, and they're also tried to shove this adult use of marijuana act down our throats, which is actually a return to criminalization with a simple 50+1 majority vote in the legislature. And it's so bad, I can't begin to tell you. It's even worse than bad. So what's going on with it is there's more struggles because the Democratic machine tried to endorse AUMA to trick voters into ending not-for-profit medical cannabis. So that's what's happening. The medical cannabis will cease to exist. You cannot give it away. You can't grow it for people. You get 6 plants per household, and you have to grow them indoors. Who wants to grow it indoors? I mean, really. Not if it can cool the environment. So these are the DCCC attempt. They had attempted a coup to create more seats for themselves before they had to leave office. How funny is that? So we've got that. That's really funny. I think that they actually withdrew the coup, and but last night the whole meeting was about item 6, the takeover of the cannabis industry, and how many people on the DCCC that are the voters, the ones that aren't coming back to office. We lost by a very narrow margin because they were representing Sean Parker, and the real estate lobby, they're still in control of the board right now for about 2 more weeks till election results are ratified, and then they'll take office, but only after this thing has been shoved through. So it's worse than awful. It's just being tricked left and right with these. It's just market takeover. It's nothing more than that. It really is. It's just market takeover by billionaires. And they called the police when they were making the policies. They called the police on people who didn't have thousands of dollars to get in. Now this is some memes I got to show you about it while I tell you. And check this out. That's Sean Parker. That's a picture of Sean Parker, the tech billionaire who's funding the Adult Use of Marijuana Act, which is designed to trick us into saying, oh yeah, man, it's legalization, man, but it's not. So please don't be fooled by it. The conservative Democrats and the more progressive Democrats continues, but the ambulance is for the conservative ones that lost, because I don't know what we can do we can't change the vote now. There's gonna be an e-board on Saturday that decides makes the final decision, and I really can't tell you any more news until July what's going to happen with that. So the Democratic County Central Committee voted 11-10 on the control and regulate tax use, aka AUMA. Most of them do not realize that the actual legal effect of AUMA will be to end California's Compassionate Use Act, a law that has always required medical marijuana to be provided on a not-for-profit basis. This has prevented companies from selling stock because dividends to shareholders are profits. The for-profit motivation, it makes healthcare more expensive since patient fees must cover profits as well as services. And it's just, there's too much wrong with this. I just, I've got a caller. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Okay, can you actually hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, yeah, this is Eli Hernandez.
Yeah, hi, Eli. How you been?
Hey, I actually attended a meeting last night at the DCCC as well, and I also wanted to weigh in on this.
Please
I'm calling
do.
on this line because there's also a number on the phone on the bottom of the screen. Anybody else can call and weigh in as well. So,
Please do.
last night there was certain individuals who were absent during roll call, who were also absent during the public comment, which I felt they should not have a vote whatsoever in item 6, which was AUMA, the Adult Use of Marijuana Act. They should not have had a vote. They should have passed, like such as Rebecca Prosen. She missed public comment. She voted yes on it. So she should not have voted. She should have abstained from the vote because she missed public comment. At least Supervisor Weiner had the decency not to be in the room when they were voting.
Yeah, and they didn't even read it. They didn't even read Alma. They didn't read it. It's 46 pages, or is it 64 pages? Nobody wants to read it. It's dodgy.
I agree with Shona Gokunawa when she said didn't have to read every single page. She stopped when she saw the word jail. That means jail time.
Jail time. Yeah, it's about as much. It's more fun being waterboarded than reading that law. It really is. It's just it'll bum your whole day out to read it. But yeah, I read quite a bit of it, and a section 3. It really takes a lot of rights away. So we've really got an uphill climb. They think that they're going to win this by 60%. They're bragging, but Jane Kim is against it, and she's now pulled ahead of Scott Weiner in the Senate race. So this might be a good thing for us. It shows that what the will of voters are early.
Yes, they want actually a progressive Democratic committee representing the city of San Francisco.
Yeah, well, we've got that. They take office. They're seated in 2 weeks after the election results are ratified. So
I made a comment last night that currently reflects the current body of the DCCC, that there is one thing that the founding fathers relish upon the democratic process. It's called communication. That current body lacked communication.
Oh, they don't. Scott Weiner walked in and out a total of 9 times in and out of the room. He got there more than halfway through the meeting and walked in and out 7 times, at least 7 to 9 times. I lost count. So
Trust me, you were not the only one who noticed that.
yes, and he's pretty blatant about it. And I don't know why the media won't fact check him on all his lies about approving housing that was approved before he was even supervisor by the former supervisor. So media won't fact check him, and that's amazing. So we're the ones who have to do it. So go on Twitter. Yeah, he did it in the debate anyway. So we need someone progressive, and also who else? Of course, Dianne Feinstein always abstains. And she calls cannabis a drug anyway. But we've got okay, let me go in my. Okay, we got voted. Who got voted out? Lee Pimentel. Do you have a list of everybody who got voted out? I think I do. Right here.
I do not have that list on me.
Yeah. Okay. We'll say that Alex Rosenthal was voted out. She used to be in the Green Party. Now, how could she support this? So, she supported it. I'm really amazed by her. So. Scott Weiner, of course. What happened with Scott Weiner? How did he vote? Did he just abstain?
His vote was absent.
His vote was absent.
Yes, which meant as a pass or abstain vote.
That was a dodgy way to do it. That was quite dodgy.
The people of San Francisco had no proper notification about this new change, and they even introduced new amendments to this ALMA that the public had no knowledge of beforehand.
Yes, they did. They did that. They didn't even tell us anything. They just wanted to push it through, without even making any public notification. I'm lucky I saw it when at my Central City Democrats Club, where it was on Mike Nolte's at Mike Nolte's information sheet. And I said, "Oh, we've got to go to this." So we would have missed the meeting, and they wanted us to miss the meeting. It's just like, let me talk about voter suppression for a minute. My vote, I wasn't even on the voter rolls. And I've been voting there at the same precinct 10 years, and all of a sudden, even the guy in front of me wasn't on the voter rolls either. So both of us were left there. So we stomped out of there and had to go to City Hall to vote. So that, they were hoping that we.
Remind everybody as well. Yeah, I forgot where my voting place was located, so I did the default and went to City Hall.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I got to City Hall, the booth was dark. You need a flashlight to see the ballot. And I reported it to the Department of Elections, and I hope they did something about it. I've heard that I'm not the only one this has been happening to, so it's scary. And of course, don't even get me started on open source software for vote. That was another show. But we've got these folks, let's see. I would have the article open here.
Which article are you referring to? The open source voting?
No, I'm talking about the Prop 215 being hijacked. Here we go. I've got. Let's see.
Can you pull the article up one more time, please? So
yeah, I'm gonna.
The viewers can look at it.
I'm gonna pull the article back up. It's right here. This is the latest on it. The coup was dropped. They were gonna. It was. This is what happened under pressure from progressives and even with the more conservative members of the DCCC showing reluctance to change rules at this point. So Alex Rosenthal has withdrawn a proposal that would have undone what the voters decided June 7th. They wanted to create extra seats for themselves, even though they lost.
And I can see in that photo that's a victory panel from Democratic San Francisco such as Jane Kim and Aaron Peskin.
They're the victors. So but there's no room on the stage for 50. They want to have 50. 50.
And the campus as well. I cannot make out anybody else.
Yeah, I couldn't either. So there's the 31 members. So we're going to get rid of Mary Jung. She was the one calling the shots there. She was the chairperson. And she really, I think she voted yes to endorse the Adult Use of Marijuana Act, which didn't surprise me at all. And Matt Dorsey was the swing vote. And Michelle Aldrich actually hijacked that process. So that's what I've been told by Shona, and I believe. And also in the meeting, Matt Dorsey said, "Oh, I'm going to vote with Michelle Aldrich." I'm like, "What? Why? Why can't you just read it and vote your own brain? Why do you have to vote with her?" So that alone it would have tied the vote up. We would have won if it wasn't for him, Matt Dorsey, being hijacked by Michelle Aldrich. He said, he didn't want to read it. He was happy enough to just vote her way. So anyway, this is what Shona had to say. "We almost won at DCCC tonight to block a resolution in support of AUMA. I mean, we went against big money. So we had David Campos was with us, Petra De Jesus was with us. We had the progressives, and
Madeline was with us.
Yeah, he was, and so was Henny Kelly. Before the cannabis policy was weighed in, they wanted to hear they didn't even want to hear our public comment. They wanted to just say don't want to hear this matter, and then they decided to hear it anyway. But they tried to really get hard to gain on Dave. Remember, Dave Goldman got up from the Brownie Mary Democratic Club.
Yes, he was the one that I believe he was the one that introduced the amendment.
Yeah, well, he and Michelle Aldrich, the amendments are vague too, and they don't go far enough. So we got the progressive vote against the resolution. We know Eric Marr, a lot of proxies, and Raphael.
I'm so glad Michael Goldman pointed out that this will lead to criminalization and it would highly affect medical marijuana patients.
Yeah, David Goldman. Yeah, he did. He was a champ. Although he towards the end he sort of endorsed the bad one. You know, he sort of endorsed those amendments. And oh, we need to build on AUMA. No, we need to get rid of AUMA and put money into the one that we wrote, that we're proponents of. You signed it. I signed it. It's the initiative that actually legalizes cannabis. It's called MCLR. Remember, yeah, we just needed money, and nobody would give us any money. They put it behind this craptastic AUMA, which is, they call it, they don't even call it legalization. It makes me mad when they even call it legalization. Oh boy, you know, how do they do that? Because they actually, an up or down vote can make it illegal anywhere. It already upholds all the existing bans there are. So
I'm not sure if anybody who actually pays tax on their Zoloft or Xanax or Oxycontins or Baclofen.
no, they
I'm not
don't.
aware of anybody who actually pays tax on their medications. So why should medical marijuana patients pay taxes on their medication?
Yeah, well, all we pay is a little copay, you know, if we have good insurance. But yeah, with cannabis, we pay a tax just like it's liquor or something when it's actually medication. And I haven't seen liquor make many people get over cancer. You know, have you? Oh boy.
Those were called Slim Slam artists back in the 1890s and 1940s.
Yeah, they might as well be selling snake oil off a truck. That's what the pharmaceutical industries come to, and they're gouging the insurance companies at the same time. And then the Republicans say, "Oh, the Obamacare is failing." Well, and you know, even though it's their bill in the beginning, it's the Heritage Foundation started Obamacare, right? And then when Obama tries to say something nice about Obamacare, nobody can do it because he did it, but it's actually a Republican law. So anyway. And Hillary's was more progressive, and Hillary's getting trashed, even though her health care bill had universal health care, and that got trashed. So yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hang up right now because I'm gonna finish watching the Warriors Cavs game where LeBron James just scored, and it's now the score is unfortunately Cavs up 6-0.
Oh, okay. I'll have 6-0. Oh boy, and was this a home game?
No, it's a away game.
Oh, well, we'll have to just do better the other time. Okay, thanks for bringing up Eli. You can catch Eli, Elihu, capital H, at Twitter, okay?
Elihu 2001.
Oh, 2001. Yeah, add 2001 to that. All right, thanks, Eli. See you soon.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, that was Eli. We sat through that entire meeting last night, and it was mayhem. So I've got to find the video. Let's see. I was going to show you. Oh, I've got another call here. Let's see if I can. Oh. Stand further away from the phone. Otherwise, we're going to get feedback, and it's going to sound like you're talking out of a cave. But so yeah, it's an uphill battle, but we won it in the June election. We've got a lot of hope, but they're still doing tricky, dodgy things to try to make your and my herb illegal any way they can with dodgy legislation. And the cops are. A lot of cops don't want to enforce this because they want to stick with criminals, because actually the prison industrial complex, who charges cities money for not arresting enough people to fill their for-profit prisons, it's really dodgy. And now this is, if you grow 7 plants, you're going to go to prison, folks. So please vote no on this. I can't cover this enough. Please vote no on this, because it's not legalization. It's a return to prohibition. And prohibition, right now we have $100 fine for an ounce, and $100 fine for an ounce, so that's not, and a $250 fine for smoking in public. Now, even if you're a patient, $250 fine, and that's going to go to fund the cops that are going to enforce all these laws, and it goes to the prison industrial complex, and they call it community. That's where it's going to, in the law, it says, well, the money will go for the community. Yeah, to police the community. That's what, please, that's the key word. It's not policy, it's policey. It's a policey policy. God. Oh, I probably have a call. Let me see, huh? No. Oh. Well, I've only got a minute and a half left, and I actually need to. I wish it was an hour show, but it's not. We've got the. And for 3 days, there's going to be an e-board meeting at Long Beach for 3 days, and they'll be voting on Saturday on endorsing AUMA. And they don't. What people don't realize, because no one wants to carefully read the 62 pages of dense legalese, let's call it. That is AUMA, but. AUMA will allow the big corporation to take control of marijuana and hemp, and that AUMA will create an incredible slush fund of revenue and all kinds of marijuana from marijuana and put it squarely under the control of the governor, Governor Moonbeam. So, yeah, I'm sorry I voted for him. I'll admit it. Yeah, kick me. So, the implications of crony capitalism are incredible as the related fundraising abilities of such control, and will give Gavin Newsom as he allegedly sets his sights past the governor's mansion towards the White House. That's what this is about. And Gavin Newsom, he was such an opportunist. He just gay marriage. People were already, he just hopped the gay marriage gravy train. Don't believe him. And please adopt a shelter pet. We'll see you July 6th. Thanks for watching. Go Warriors. Yay.